Annie and Konstantin.
And you're watching another episode of...
You know, updates.
And you have maybe realized these updates came a little later than the usual. So it should be either Saturday or even maybe Sunday by now. But we have the best reason for that.
We just spent most of this week, basically 4 days straight, shooting the second episode of the Depression and Anxiety Life Hacks. And as you can probably tell from our hairstyles, we're done.
We haven't looked at the footage yet.
But it's perfect. It is impossible that anything could possibly be wrong with the footage. At all.
So chances are pretty decent that the second episode of the Life Hacks will be released before the next, updates. So in the beginning of the following week. And to shorten the time even shorter, here are a little bit of stuff we have shot in those crazy 4 days.
Cleanse it of the bad. You don't have the energy to indulge toxic people or relationships or situations. Give up responsibility for things that hurt more than they help. I stopped jumping, I confirm.
So as you can see, we have one-upped our technical game for the third episode once more. Starting with an elaborate microphone construction, up to like really bright lights, going to a teleprompter. Yes, that's how serious we are.
To get out of bed in the morning and to leave the house and go for walks. I'm sorry, I should have just gone with it because you're freaking adorable.
So one more time, we make use of the movie magic and we're going to turn this corner here into a doctor's office using nothing more than a popsicle stick and a lab coat.
It's a very strange, intimate moment that we're sharing now.
Yes, I know.
I'm a little scared.
Say ah.
Go see your doctor. I was wondering if you actually know enough about doctoring that the thumbs up means something, And then I thought, no, probably not. I just feel weird having you judge, the inside of my mouth.
That is what we did the last few days. And now I'm tired.
So what is your epiphany, Annie Banani?
So I have been digging in the past in the last few weeks for several different reasons. For one, shooting the Depression and Anxiety Life Hacks is always very much a, past revisiting thing, because most of these life hacks come out of my own long time of struggling and trying different things and finding things that work. And then also I'm starting my master's degree, which is having me learn how to do academia again, and that is kind of leading me back to my roots, which is a little strange. I'm getting a degree in media, and my bachelor's degrees are in mostly education and English, so I'm a little bit in a different field. And now here I am trying to really frame my topic and really find where I'm going with this. And what I find myself doing is thinking about people. How do people function? How do people think? How do people learn? And right now I'm approaching the whole subject via words. Defining words, analyzing words, figuring out definitions of words, and approaching it the semantic route. So I'm in this new subject, I'm in this new topic, and I find myself reverting back to my roots in a very powerful and very strong sort of way. And what fascinates me most about that right now, I think, is they tell you that your undergraduate degree doesn't matter. They tell you that your high school doesn't matter. They tell you that, everything you've done in the past doesn't matter, but it does, because it builds your foundation. It gives you the first steps that you're climbing to get to this new thing. And it doesn't lock you into any area. It doesn't mean that you now have to, stay in this little framework that you boxed yourself into. But it does influence your approach on things. Because really what education is, it gives you tools. It gives you a gigantic box full of tools to enter a new situation and approach new things with. And right now I'm very powerfully being reminded of my toolbox and of the things I have in it. And it's really fun to pull all the tools back out and, see what I can do with them. That's what I've been thinking about this week, how the past shapes our present and our future, which used to terrify me because you can't change the past. So it feels like all the things I haven't done are now screwing me up. But really, any experience, and if it's, you know, spending 3 years with deep depression, does shape you and does give you something that you can then work with. It's always strange when I see things the hopeful, cheery, bright way, but it's nice. So that's what I got this week.
So I stumbled upon a pretty interesting book called Making Ideas Happen by Scott Belsky, who is one of the founders of the Behance Network. This book is aimed at creatives, but this book isn't about finding ideas or generating ideas like most books aimed at creatives, but executing them, organizing your creative endeavors, projects in ways that they are manageable. The author of this book interviewed hundreds of professional creatives, and he brought up that there are basically 3 types of creatives: the dreamers, the doers, and the incrementalists. The dreamers are those creatives who, you know, they come up with idea after idea, and when they actually finish a piece of work, it's amazing, it's brilliant, it's really, really good. But finishing projects is a hit and miss. So basically they start a project, but the chances that they will finish it are like not very high. And then on the other side there are the doers, and these are those who maybe not always have the most brilliant ideas, but they the ones who constantly put out work, which is okay, which is good, which is most times better than a genius who, you know, doesn't do anything. And then there are incrementalists who can switch between those 2 roles. Like they can come up with a brilliant idea and then they can switch into this getting stuff done mode and then finish the project. And you might think that this is like the best way to do things, that this is like the holy grail that every creative strives for. But there's this pattern of people who put a project in one field, like write a book or start a company, and then the next project is in a completely different field. So basically they have a lot of small things that are successful, but it's not like they have a body of work which is consistent. And I find myself more in this incrementalist part of the creatives, because the stuff I put out, it's usually, it's okay, it's decent, and I finished the projects, but they're in different areas. So I wrote a couple of short stories, I made a couple of short films. I got pretty decent at animating stuff. I got pretty decent at improv. I'm okay at playing guitar. So basically I'm pretty decent at many fields, but there's not many fields where I'm like, this is my field and I'm really, really, really good at this and doing just that. And I think this is a thing that I want to try, as in to focus now my work on into making films, and even more into making fictional films, which I came away from. So I need to return to that, because this is actually a thing that I want to do the most. And also that I'm not alone in this. Like, this is a behavioral pattern which is not uncommon, which was an interesting epiphany for me.
I think what's important to mention is that we get to the end of this very, very long 4 days, and for some reason I have a side ponytail, and I look over at Konstantin and I say, before we do the updates you really need to side ponytail up too, and he goes, okay, and just does it. And that's how partnership works.